2, 1.
And you wouldn't get it, as always, is back for episode 19. And we have a special one today. Today, we're just going to be rounding out what has been a great first year of You Wouldn't Get It with some of the best of moments of the year. So, yeah, we're just doing a short little intro here. Easton, you got anything to say to the people?
No, I mean it's been a great 2020. We've got some big plans in 2021, so definitely stay tuned. Got a lot of different directions we want to take the podcast, so
Oh, yeah.
be sure to keep listening. Every Wednesday we'll be here in your ear. And I hope you enjoy some of these clips of probably me embarrassing Christian. So
Yeah, no, if there's anything that we've learned in the debut year 2020, it's that both of us at many different times during recording can be certainly very rotten individuals. And that's just, if there's anything that I want you guys to know about us moving forward in this podcast, is that we're unpredictable. You never know what's going to come out of our mouths. And you will learn that today if you are just joining with us. And also, this will be the first time ever that we do a full video episode of the podcast. So enjoy that. We'll post it all on YouTube. And with that, guys, Easton, unless you got anything stupid left to say, we'll lead you right into the rest of these clips.
yeah, nothing stupid left. Let's get after it.
All right, guys, we will see you next time. I'm declaring this podcast as an anti DJ K Love podcast right now. I'm going out there and I'm doing it because he just doesn't get it. This guy doesn't get it. DJ K Love with his snap stories and whatever he wants to do, he doesn't get it, and I don't think he's ever gonna. So
Okay. I didn't like
just
where you were
putting that
going.
out there.
I didn't like where you were going with that at first. I really didn't. But I can't disagree with you there. You're right. The guy doesn't get it all. He's all over the place. You know, you've got Nickelback, and then you've got, a salsa song, and then you got Screamo, and then you're throwing in
Martin
Migos.
Garrix or some, yeah.
Yeah, it's all over the place. And some of the songs they do hit right, but you've got to develop a mood when you're the DJ. You got to have some consistency. And you're right. I thought it was going to go bad there for a second because I will not tolerate Pepe slander on this podcast. Great chips, great queso, great salsa. They have great food. And then, yeah, obviously, there's the Tuesday night festivities.
And I ended up going with Aftermath as my honorable mention. A great place downtown Valpo. Kind of tucked away on a great street. It's got all the lights and everything just to really add to the atmosphere. But just everything about Aftermath, I don't know what they call it, the boat or the tray thing, whatever they call it, with all the different drinks or ciders you can get, just really puts it on a different level. And it's small, it's tucked away, it brews its own drinks. You can't go wrong with it. So that's
called
my
a flight,
honorable mention.
Barzy.
Yes,
Get
flight.
it together.
Thank you for the proper terminology. But I also want to say, if we were doing an honorable mention, North Sides, just gotta throw it out there, man. It's atmosphere. If we were ranking it a million, atmosphere a million, food for the tots alone 10. It just doesn't get much better than that. Blood, sweat, and tears on the dance floor. And, you're given it's probably different when you're there and you're sober, but just got to throw that in there. Honorable mention.
For the listeners out there, honestly, if you expected anything less out of Barzy right there, you were mistaken. I mean, he's got horrible takes, and sometimes he can be a rotten human
Sort of
being.
took your gig. I mean, I saw a video of him throwing back 200 Chick-fil-A nuggets, 50 In-N-Out burgers. And you do that basically any day of the week. That's Monday through Friday for you, right?
That's
So
a normal day.
I do feel bad because I think you missed your opportunity there, but
well, you hate to see
life
it.
goes on, right?
You do hate to see it, and you live and you learn. That's what they say. Now you reminded me, another one of those channels that I used to watch a lot of growing up, and maybe this just taught me my ways. Epic Mealtime. That was I don't know if you ever saw that one.
Oh yeah.
The absurd meals they're eating, 20, 30,000 calorie meals, and honestly, I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they went on without having some kind of severe health issues. But hey, they did it. They made money. Good for them.
Yeah, I mean,
But
you're still doing it, right? So
there's a will, there's a way, man. You can
I'm
find
sorry,
a way to
I'm being
make
a
it
little
happen.
horrible today. I'll
No.
tone it down a bit.
Well, hey, and here's the thing, man. And to these viewers, as they begin to follow along, you'll realize very quickly that Easton Roadhouse is a rotten human being. Like he is bad news, guys. He is really bad news. And you may think this is just a shtick or something. No, this guy is legitimately got some issues. And channel that comes to mind, I don't know if you definitely knew this channel, but Fred, the
Oh
Fred.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, everyone knew Fred. I think he was maybe the first channel to 1 million subscribers, and that's a perfect example of a guy. And I think he was honestly one of the first examples of a guy who actually started to build a brand for himself, because all of his
Well, yeah.
videos played off the same theme of the super high pitched kid who just did stupid shit.
Well, and
Um,
he ended up with a movie, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
and he was on
multiple movies.
iCarly, and he was
Yeah.
on shows. Yeah, it worked out for him, and then he kind of dropped off the face of the earth once he grew up a little bit. But it was interesting to see that idea of a YouTube brand extend out into, I guess, what you would call the real world.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what's hard for so many people to like wrap their head around is because, we talked about PewDiePie and obviously, you've got the Twitch channel now where you've got gamers that, bring in a ton of people, but it's because, they're seriously very talented at whatever game they're playing and they're also good at producing content. But what's
Yes.
different with them and these YouTubers we talk about like Fred is some of the stuff if you just simply said, "Hey man, you're going to be worth $500 million if you just talk like a pubescent kid and scream, I guess what to most people is a bunch of hilarious, little
Yeah.
one-liners and make bizarre videos and I mean, hey, I'm not here to knock it because the guy's set for life off doing that.
Listen, and to all the listeners, I'm going to throw this out there. This is just food for thought. Take it for what it's worth. I'm not going to be able to prove this, but I got another conspiracy for you. I think the reason that Barzy is so ruthlessly defending this is because he's part of this reptilian society.
See,
He's
okay.
a member.
This is perfect. So this is perfect because another thing of research I did, there are three, and this was in the Lewandowski, his journal. So there are 3 hallmarks to a false conspiracy, and the third one is evidence against the conspiracy actually being evidence for it. So like me, I'm a human being. I'm as human as they
Maybe.
come. So you're taking that and spinning the fact that because I am so human, that's got to mean that I'm a reptile.
And
That's
what'd you say this guy's name is that wrote this research article?
Steven or Stefan Lewandowski, I believe.
So Mr. Lewandowski is also a part of the
Yeah,
reptilian society.
you're
He is. He is.
sick in
And
the head.
it's the
Sick in the head. That's it. That's
horrible,
really it.
isn't it? But it might be the truth. It just might be.
Everyone out there who is like sold on this whole Bill Clinton being, part of this pedophile ring and being best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, yada yada, which again, I'm not going to deny that outright because it could be true. Like they were really good friends and there were newspaper articles of sightings of Bill Clinton on that island and a lot of the people that have accused um, Jeffrey Epstein have also come out and accused Bill Clinton. But a lot of these people are diehard Donald Trump supporters, and he's just as good of friends with them. Everyone just
Yeah, yeah,
everyone absolutely ignores the fact that they were
yeah,
pretty much equally as good friends.
yeah.
And a lot of people
Oh
don't know
yeah.
that the Clintons and the Trumps were actually really good friends before they went head to head in politics. They were at each other's weddings, at multiple parties together. Like if you're gonna die on a hill that Bill Clinton was a member of all this, that hill better include Donald Trump because it's literally almost the same exact situation. Like the
Uh-huh.
accusations, sorry, are that Bill Clinton was a really good friend of his. They were spotted multiple times together. They were, they took plane rides together, vacations, trips, whatever. And Donald Trump's done all of the same things.
Yes.
Literally all of them. So that's
Yeah.
a little side rant there, but
No, I'm going to go off that. I love that you say that because my favorite people in the world on social media right now are the people who are like, you know what? Regardless of politics, I don't care who you are. If you're a pedophile, you're going down. I don't care who I support. Like, no shit. No.
All right, last one here.
Main event.
And we've brought this one up a few times.
Oh, no.
Francis Ngannou.
God, yeah. I mean, he's going to be that's
Now here's,
I mean, I've been
here's the
saying
X factor.
what's the X factor?
No, I think you're gonna say it right now.
I
so
was just gonna say, like, I've been joking with the other guys that I may die. He literally killed me. I'm actually dead. There's no coming back from this. So just for that alone, to literally risk my life, risk the next, hopefully, 60, 70 years, it's gonna be probably an amount that's gonna set me up for the near future. 100,000. 100,000, I'd do it.
Wow. I would actually even go higher on that, to be honest.
You'd go high? Yeah, I'd say it's fair to go higher.
Because listen, there is almost a 100% chance, and like we said before, you can't just like take a jab and fall and say you're done. You've got to legitimately put up a fight until you can't. Within 25 seconds, you are completely out cold. Whether you're dead or alive, you're going to be out cold. And you're 100% right. There is a legitimate threat that you will die. That would be one that I would maybe threaten the millions on. And I think that's the same with anyone, really. Like, just this stuff is being taken out of context where people are taking little 30, 45-second clips of something that was said and posting it on the internet, trying to get them canceled, when it's like, okay, if you watch that whole episode, there might be a completely different message being conveyed than what was in that clip. Like they might literally be saying the opposite of what came out in that clip. But just because you can capture those little moments and make someone look bad is such a weapon, honestly.
Look, man, you could easily take this episode out of context. You could easily find a portion of this episode and argue that we are defending everyone who's ever been canceled. That's absolutely not what we're doing, and we've said it many times throughout the episode. There are people who deserve to be canceled in a lot of different instances. We're just talking about every other instance, and you could easily find a way to get us canceled. And you said it earlier. Maybe this is the episode that does us in.
And you know what? If you're going to try and cancel us, I got a couple words for you.
Uh-oh.
Then do it then. Try to cancel us. See what happens. Because it's not going to.
One last thing. And Kate, I'll be honest with you. A roommate of yours that I may or may not be in a relationship with is just not into space. And it's been a huge block. So listen, how do us three right here on this podcast raise space awareness and get people to understand the importance of this? Do we start a movement? Is there a hashtag we can throw out there? To me, this is just so interesting that it's a disservice to people that can't get into it.
Yes, she is my roommate, and I've tried to get my roommates in on the space talk. They're not really about it, but that's okay. But yeah, we do need to raise. I think if people let themselves go there, like with their mind, like read about it, learn about it, then like they have to be interested. They have to be. But I think it's just so easy to be like, space, because it is very complex. Like, obviously, I don't understand a single thing. I'm just very interested in it.
Right.
And so yeah, I guess we need a hashtag. That's
Barzy, you're the comm major here. What are we doing? How are we making this happen?
I would say we need to make space less intimidating. I would say that's the first thing we have to accomplish. Because like I was saying, I think the reason why space just kind of turns people off is because it's just a whole lot of nothingness. And it's super intimidating. So I think if we could just kind of bring space back down to earth a little bit, no pun intended.
Say you're in your 60s, maybe 70s. What % would scientists have to give you of a guarantee that if you're going to go into that black hole, you're going to pop out into a nice positive universe and everything's just in hand. What percentage do they have to give you guarantee that you make it, that you hop on that ship and go?
I'd say they could give me a 50% guarantee, and I'd probably go. If Earth was where it's headed in 50 years, then I would definitely go, because what's worse, dying of like in a radioactive bomb, or just sending yourself into a black hole, getting spaghettified, and then who cares? What I guess I don't know. It'd be quick.
I just kind of go back to hoping that technology will just continue to advance to a point, because you have to look over the past like 50, 60 years where technology was and where it will be. So I just hope by 50, 60 years down the road, this is obviously won't be solved with all the climate change issues, because the Earth is going to change. The Earth is ultimately going to be fine. It's going to be us that aren't fine. But I would say that if you can give me a 30% chance,
Wow.
I'm risking it all, because I'm 60, 70
30?
years old. I'm already at that point in my life where it's like, okay, like I've seen a lot, I've experienced a lot. I might as well just try something else out at this point. If it works out, it works out. Great. If it doesn't work out, I've already lived for 65, 70 years. So that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I may even say, if you can give me a 20%.
A big criticism this year was, well, why doesn't LeBron James speak out against what's going on in Hong Kong? Well, it could just be the fact that maybe LeBron James doesn't understand the situation
he's not
in Hong
informed
Kong
on
that
that
well.
situation.
And you know, this is coming from the same people that hate when people throw their political opinions out without being super informed on the issues. Well, if he doesn't truly understand what's going on in Hong Kong, could he, you know, do additional research and then maybe make a statement? Sure, but what does he understand 100%? What's going on in the communities he grew up in? So for him to speak out about that, you know, to me, that is again him using his voice to try and make a positive impact on something that he fully understands.
For me to hear, there's been no valid argument as to why they want athletes to just shut up and not talk about it. Basically, like everything you just said is exactly what their argument should be, which is just honesty. It's like, I don't want to hear them talk about that opinion because it's different from mine and I don't like it. Other than that, like there's no other answer you can give. And to people listening that might be in that like spectrum and don't want to hear athletes talk about politics, just be honest. Like I won't be as upset with you as if you just were lying about the whole situation of why you didn't want them to. Just say, I don't agree with them, so I don't want to hear it. And then, like you said earlier, then if you don't want to hear them, don't watch.
Easton, you said it best, and we all know it, but politics truly are a part of everything, and that's just what it comes down to. If you're one of those people who doesn't want to see politics in sports, I'd say honestly, maybe just open yourself up a little bit. Try to understand what is going on in this country. Try to understand why it is that people are taking so much time and effort to make it known of the issues that are going on in this country, because they are very valid issues, and they are issues that are much, much, much more important than anything that is going on the field or the court or anything like that.
Real quick, can I say something? Just before we get going and get started on the details of this guy.
Yeah.
I'm saying this right here on the podcast that you wouldn't get it. I want it to go viral. I want it to be a global known phenomenon. Lock me in the octagon with this guy. I'm calling out Jacob Wolf. I want to fight with him. 5 rounds, 5-minute rounds. Let's do it, buddy. I want you bad.
Wow.
Jacob Wolf, meet me at 190.
I was just gonna say, wait, do we think? Do you know what height he is? Do we have any idea of the height of this guy?
You know what? Let me pull this up right now. Jacob Wolf, 6 foot 1 inch.
Oh, okay.
His weight is unknown, but it's estimated to be in the 155 to 175 pound range. So okay. Jacob Wolf, I'll do you a favor. I'll meet you at 185, buddy.
Okay,
Next year, Madison Square Garden, find me.
You are walking in a forest and you find a black suitcase. Inside it holds $1 million and a piece of paper stained in blood with a single word.
Yep.
Don't. So, are you taking the suitcase or are you leaving it?
Yeah, I've discussed this one before as well, and absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think you are a
I'm
psychopath if you do. Because listen, you know, it says don't and it's stained in blood.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
basically saying like,
That's how you
you
get
know,
demons
you take
possessing
this and you're dead. You
Yes.
take this and you're dead. There's no other way around it. There's a reason it says that. No one's just giving away $1 million. It's obviously a trap for someone to just snipe your head clean off.
That.
So I don't think that it just is not worth it to me. That is not worth it. $1 million, sure, you'll have a good lifestyle there for a while. Maybe you make some good investments and turn it into a career, but that's a risky option on that end, and it's even riskier in the fact that you're probably going to get your head taken clean off. So, no, I'm not touching that thing.
Or, or maybe, just maybe, it's some rich person trying to play some tomfoolery on you and just thinking, I'm going to mess with some people. First person who takes it, good for them. They took the risk. They win. Nothing's actually going to happen to them. Or, like you said, this is probably someone who's waiting to snipe your brains out. Or you're going to get, I mean, this is best case scenario. If this is an actual situation with this happening and whoever put it there is going to follow through, best case there's like demons and you're getting possessed. Other than worst case, you're dead right there, right then and there. So
Yeah.
earlier in the day, and I guess I shouldn't say this was the first time we'd heard about it, but like on the internet, it had been starting to grow and you'd started to see some reports on it. But I mean, pandemic, like you hear the word pandemic, epidemic, you're like, come on now, like that's not going to happen. We'll be fine. This is the modern world. Even if something did happen internationally, it's not going to come to the US, right? We'll handle it. It'll be fine. So, spoiler alert,
Yeah,
it was
not the
not
case.
fine.
And
Yeah.
mixes in a few leg taps and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
he's also being noticeably flirty back to her.
Yes.
So then Borat comes in, says there's a problem with the sound. There wasn't really a problem with the sound. She kicks Borat out, and then she pretends to be so embarrassed by it that they have to take a break. So they take a break. They go back into one of the hotel rooms. This was being shot in like a living room area of a suite. They go back into a room, and she is taking his microphone off. So his microphone's obviously strung up the side of his suit. She takes it off. He pats her on her lower back and asks for her address and phone number, and then proceeds to lean back on the bed. And he claims he was tucking his shirt in, but completely back, looks to do a tucking motion, but then keeps his hands down his pants. And, you know, everyone kind of knows what was coming next. There about to be some dong action, I think. And then Borat comes rushing in an
To save the
absurd
day.
dress and says, "Take me instead." His quote was, "She's only 15. She's too old for you." It's a little joke in the movie that when you watch it, you'll get it. But I mean, just completely exposed Giuliani for basically actively pursuing, some sort of sexual encounter with this girl. And I mean, it was bad. Like, I watched it over again the second time, and I was like, that just looks so horrible on him. And this was the scene I was talking about earlier when I said there may actually not be a lawsuit, because while everyone would assume, yes, he's obviously pressing charges on them for, maybe defamation or making him look bad in the public eye, whatever. I don't know that he wants to bring attention to this. I think he wants to let this get under the rug and hopefully die off, rather than starting a lawsuit, which is going to keep it, in the public eye for some time.
I showed Christian before the episode. For all of you that are curious, of course, I got my morning coffee in. And today, since I knew I had to be extra sharp, I came with my complimentary free medium iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, free
And
medium iced
you want
coffee.
to show the camera that? We're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
sponsored by
So
Dunkin' or anything like that.
we're not sponsored by Dunkin', but medium iced coffee, free on Wednesdays if you get the Dunkin' app. But what I really did is I got sick and I drank half of it, and then I took this here Kirkland cold brew Colombian coffee, and I poured the rest in there. So I had myself a lot of
So,
coffee going into this because
the brain waves were really buzzing.
I
yeah.
wanted to be sharp. I wanted to get things
I actually
going.
came across this. This isn't one of our categories, but I came across this chain when I was just doing some research to, get my mind working a little bit. I just want to say that Skyline Chili is woaded. It is the worst chain out there. I don't know if you've ever had it. I've had it 2 times, and it's just the worst experience ever. So I just wanted to get that out there. That's all I've got on that end.
Now let me argue against that thought. Not that it's not horrible. I'll be honest, I haven't had it. I haven't really heard good things about it. But
Woaded.
listen, when you talk about woaded chains, you can't go too far before you run into Long John Silver's. I mean,
I haven't met one person ever who's gone to a Long John
who in
Silver's.
God's green earth enjoys that place? Who wants to go there? I mean, fast food seafood. That is the most horrible concept I have ever heard of. Ever. It's terrible. I would never go to a Long John Silver's. I think I've been once in my life when I was younger, and I'm pretty sure I threw up after. I'm not even kidding. So, again, there's no way that stuff is right to eat.
And that's another good take because, like I said, I seriously, in all my days, have never met anyone who not only just doesn't like Long John Silver or likes Long John Silver's, but I haven't met someone who's actually been to Long John Silver's. It's just so irrelevant. It's so irrelevant. And
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Ready for this?
Let me.
And again, maybe not all the listeners know some of these people we name drop. I'm going to throw this out there, and this is going to surprise you. But I know of one person that walks this earth that enjoys Long John Silver's and is proud to frequently go. And
wow,
that person is Josh Courier. Josh Courier.
That's the least surprising thing you've ever done. The number 1 for my Mexican chains was a pretty easy selection. The number 2 was also surprisingly pretty easy. Buckle up, Easton, because I'm not sure how you're going to take this. Welcome to Moes, baby. For number 2, I don't think you're a Moes guy. I think you're actually a Moes hater. I may be wrong, but let me just tell you something. Freshman year, I hated Moes. Hated it because it was where we always stopped on our road trips to wherever we were playing. By senior year, it was like I fell into the trap. I wanted to go to Moes every stop of the way. I wanted it. The chips, there's something about the chips, and then I don't even know what they're called. The things they flip into the stacks. The stacks, man. The stacks give it the number.
And you know why I know that, Christian? Is because you are just so ill-informed and caught in your own thoughts. Moes is also my number 2. I'm a huge Moes guy.
Yes,
I don't know where you're getting this idea that I don't like Moes. All the Moes haters out there, I mean, piss off. It is wonderful. The stack is one of the best Mexican chain items you can get. Throw it on top of some chips. You can eat chips for days. They have a variety of salsas to choose from. And you walk through the door to Welcome to Moes. It's a staple. You can't go wrong with it. It's also my number 2. Get your head on straight. If you think I'm a Moes hater, you don't know what's going on.
I'm glad. I am glad you were with me on that.
And it comes with maturity, Christian. So maybe you came in, you were immature, your head wasn't on straight, and you didn't like Moes. But over time, we all grow up, right? And then you realize the gem that Moes is. Now, I came in realizing that right away. I've always loved Moes. Always loved the stack.
Massive argument after the breakup where I said some nasty things that I regret, and now she doesn't talk to me or want anything to do with me. When we were together, Danny introduced me to Game of Thrones, and I got addicted to it. Unfortunately, while abroad, I wasn't able to watch it live, and usually it would take a while to find a good stream, if at all. The internet out there was bad. Danny blocked me on every form of communication when we broke up, but on the Monday after season 6 premiered, she unblocked me and I saw I had messages from her. I was excited because I thought maybe she forgave me and we could move on, but it was literally just every spoiler from the first episode. Since then, she spoils the show for me every week. I tried to ask her to stop, but she blocks me immediately after she sends the message. I blocked her on WhatsApp, but she did it via Facebook. Then the next week, it was text. She even borrowed one of our 4 mutual friends' phones to do it, and I fell for that. Our mutual friends are all closer to her and apparently hate me now because of what she's told them about me. I can't watch it before she ruins it. Because I have to wait till my girlfriend, my ex, is home from work to watch with her. I know I didn't treat her very well, but I just want to watch my favorite show again. Is there anything I can get Danny to stop or make peace so she won't ruin the show anymore? Wow.
All right.